Hi, everybody. Lee Honish with Home Advocates. This is September, October 5th. Wow. And this is your training call for the week. If you're watching this on replay, why weren't you on the live call? Did like a whole half hour of unplugged questions. But the question, let's start real quickly. The question came up of what happens when somebody claims fraud. And it goes back to what we've been talking about, which is most people are undereducated, even those in the industry, right, about their alternatives to foreclosure. And most people, based on my experience, do take a victim's mentality, right? That is a very common thing. It's nearly impossible for us as human beings not to make assumptions, right? It is the natural basis of how our heads work, right? You try to understand, you allow time, I guess, to try to understand and see if things change, right? Because when you have a radical 180, right? You go to the front door, your attitude is, you want them to say, I'm listing the home, but it's a radical 180, right? It's, I'm a victim here. And that is the complete difference. I don't want to lose. You're starting from, I don't want to lose my home, to taking them to a 180. This is common in real life. This is like time. It's all about time, and it's all about explanation and taking, you got to understand it. I can show you hundreds of ways to make leads, hundreds of ways to generate leads, which is the point of this marketing call and today's training specifically. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to talk to them. And so you really have to understand that the victim's mentality of, I can't pay, it's fraud. I can't pay because it's the bank fault, right? To the 180 of, I want to sell my house with you. And that's the polar opposite, right? So in life, much like real estate, you cannot make assumptions about anything, okay? It will literally make you mental. It will create negative situations beyond word. Like, that's where the negativity comes from, right? If you're going to the front door, I want a listing, I want a listing, I want a listing, and they start with, I don't want to sell my house. I don't even know why you're here, right? I don't care what they say. What they're saying is, I want to sell my house no matter, I don't want to sell my house. I want you to find a solution. In life, in real estate, in general, relationships, you can't make an assumption or put, you cannot make assumptions at all. All right. I know from personal experience, right? Watching 180s, watching situations where I personally feel I am out of my depth completely, which is a thing for me, where I am completely wrong, completely and utterly wrong, right? Things that are way over my head, right? It's never the case. That's me making an assumption. So I work very hard on not making assumptions about situations. When you generate a lead, that's all a lead up to what I'm about to say, because no matter what I say, you guys are immediately going to mentally move to, this is how I get a listing. No, this is how I get to a person that wants nothing to do with me technically, right? You're the bearer of good information. You're the bearer of help. You're the bearer of education, right? That's what Home Advocates is. That's why we went through all this trouble. That's why we went through the branding. It's why you're on the front page. All those things are the way that they are, specifically because of that fact, right? You're building credibility to have that position with them. That's all an overview, a long one, 5 minutes worth, before I say, all right, let's generate some more people who don't want to talk to you. Okay. In life, there are a lot of people who don't want to talk to me. In life, there are a lot of people who want to talk to me. It is my experience to wait and talk to those permission-based that want to talk to me. It's the way I operate. It's the way I do my personal relationships. Everything in general, I want it to come to me. Because again, I'm not a big fan of rejection. It makes me very unhappy internally, right? So I want to turn it, right, and invite it in. So let's talk about a funnel for you guys to invite it in. So what I'm going to show you are the upgrades that I'm about to do on our site. And I need to share the screen with all of you so that you can see it. It's actually a really good call today. And I'm going to show you lots of really cool stuff. Screen share, that share. All right, so here are the latest upgrades to the site, right? For those of you who don't know, you go to homeadvocates.academy. Once you are enrolled, you can put a nice picture of yourself. You go to your library, right? Once you log in on, right? And there are 3 modules. The first one will be this week. It will be a general overview of all the hub items. That will be the mandatory training. I will let you guys know when that's available so you can watch all of them. They will have very strict, like videos with guidelines. You just watch it so you guys know. Derek's done enough one-on-ones. I've been doing it for enough years that we're going to sit there and go through everything together on each module and get it taken care of. The Home Advocates community, I don't know if it's going to be on here or its own module. Derek wanted an FAQ page added, so we will do it. And lastly is the hub, right? And the hub is the basis for all of our programs. The first is the 12-step program itself, right? Been called Monster Marketing AMS. These are the 12 steps on how to do it. And your first appointment is located here. The reason I'm pointing that out, right, because you also have right here, first appointment. If you click on it, it's really a video of Gilbert's first experience to kind of get you guys fired up and engaged. I'm going to create a module that's going right here on this page. The second module will be this week, appointments. And there will be marketing pieces. There will be videos. I will keep updating it on a weekly basis, making the response information that you can give out up to date. Simple. The face-to-face marketing method, I don't know why more of you aren't doing it. To me, I still think that this is a great day-to-day way of creating referrals. And we'll talk about the marketing message shortly. Coaching calls are not up to date, but I'll have those up to date this week. For those of you that need a buyer or an investor, Derek is now in charge of all these files. I believe we have 5 in process. You fill out the information and you email your CMA, BPO, and appraisal to us, and we will put an investor on it. We just got another one approved, or we're in the process of, it got approved. So it's exciting. We're having pretty decent success in getting things approved. And again, higher end stuff, doesn't seem that investors are quite into those. I could be wrong. There's an investor page. So if it's an investment property or you're trying to figure out a way to flip or whatever, you just click on the page and fill it out. The Think Like Me will be updated again with a couple of books that I just recently read that I think will be beneficial. I will keep the webinars and the archives up, even though I'm going through them to build a better page, right here on the hub for going on your first appointments. And also being added this week, probably right after the face-to-face method, will be the video method. Those of you that have personalized squeeze pages, you guys get something totally different. But in general, what I'm about to show you will be a step-by-step process that you can send your videos to. But understand, it's going to go to Home Advocates, right? Unless you probably have your own squeeze page that you can direct traffic at. And to explain this in a little more detail, I'm going to show you our own back page on our website, right? So at the end of the day, the biggest goals, this is what you're looking at, is Home Advocates back end of where traffic's come from over the last 30 days, right? So we are primarily targeting real estate agents, right? So search engine is my highest and best source at 148. How am I doing that? I am doing it by creating content for Home Advocates and directing it directly back at Home Advocates. And it's tailored directly to real estate agents. Then the ones that are the most interesting to me, right, are Facebook, which is usually my second highest target location, right? If I get one person a day who wants to hear my message, right? So look at this from a different perspective. On a search engine, people are looking for homeowner advocates. So it's a broader range in why I took page one. When you're on Facebook, I want to whittle that information down to the one person who wants my information. So over the last 30 days, I was trying to average one person a day who wanted the home advocate's message. Okay. And I got it to 24. Towards the end of the month, I started to use YouTube to target that information because you can hyperlocate, and it's kind of wordy marketing BS, but you can target exact demographics with YouTube. And it's something that Facebook doesn't really allow anymore. I have to do Facebook sort of the hard way by implanting the data directly into groups. I will show you all of that here in just a second with a video. But I want to give you the brief overview of how this is done and why I asked you if you had someone like me in your life. And if you have a me in your life, then they should do the marketing for you, at least a tech savvy person, or at least be able to farm it out or find someone to do the work for you, because I think this is the easiest location to find the one. I think we get caught up in, I need hundreds and hundreds of leads. No, you need the one. I once went out with an investor years ago. She had a great saying, the deal's the deal. Okay, the reason I say that, the deal's the deal is the deal. And if I'm funneling and I'm directing for the one, not the 121, right? We get so caught up in listening to what our broker says and what the other coaches say that you need as many leads as possible because it's math and that breaks down. What if you're surgical from the start, right? We were talking about data for monster tagging originally in this call, and you can whittle data down to a very specific group that you're more comfortable with. I personally don't think you need to do that, but you can do that, right? I say go for everybody instead of hyper targeting in certain cases. When there's a lot of data, which the market's going to do, right? We already know this, it's almost to 30%, right? So what we're seeing right now in the distress market is about 30% of the overall market. So if you want to do math, pull your county and figure out that's 30% of it. You should figure out what the other number is, the other 70%. Just do the math, right? And tack it on. Does that make sense to everybody? Let me check with chat. Do you guys understand where I'm coming from? So what we're going to do is find the one on Facebook and through YouTube. Does that make sense? I'm checking over here with you guys. Does that make sense? That's a big, long lead up. And understand, they technically don't want you to hire them. We're back at assumptions again, making a full boat on this, right? They don't want to hire you, but they want to hire you. Does that make sense for everybody? Is everybody with me? I feel like I'm starting to see if I'm just losing my mind. Nobody has responded. Did I just stun you with too many big words? Or am I not making sense? Did I possibly have a stroke? The brain trauma has caught up. Derek, anyone? We got it. Thanks, Miles. That would have been much simpler a long time ago. All right. So let's get to it. So for those of you that are getting squeeze pages, you don't want to direct them at a website. You want to direct them at your squeeze page that I built for you. Got it? Simple. For the sake of our discussion today, we're going to be targeting home advocates. And it will be a new funnel that will go directly onto this page. Let me see if there's anything else. The training module for second appointments, their FAQ page. For those of you that need new leads, send an email to Derek at Home Advocates. I'm raising the price. Cannot wait because of the everything bubble. I'm very excited about what's going on. Data. Yeah, I think that's everything, right? So now you've got the full gambit of what to do. And Let's talk tech, shall we? And how to get the one instead of, I need 100 of those. You don't. Okay, what you're looking at, see if it's updated. Is it still Lee Honish Buyers and Renters? I changed the name of this page to see. It hasn't changed yet, but I've changed the name. It's waiting for approval to Lee Honish, or what did I change it to? Homeowners who've missed a payment or took a forbearance agreement. It's what I'm changing it to. And it's Lee Honish Homes, at Lee Honish Homes on Facebook. What I want to show you is how I share the data and what that actually means at the end of the day, right? So you can do them to a squeeze page easily, right? I'm going to show you older stuff when I was targeting homeowners with this page. Right now, I'm putting everything on it. And I've been testing it again recently, right? So I can put content up. I can then share that content directly to a hypergroup. Facebook's the only one that does it for free, so I'll show you how to do it. But you can go in now with a Facebook business tool. It's available on, for those that have Chrome, it's just an extension that you can get right now, much like your Alexa traffic page. So I can hyper target and know for certainty that I'm hyper targeting what I'm looking for, right? A 50-50, I want people over the age of 35, generally speaking, and under the age of 65. I want to make sure that my number one location is always the United States. I don't care if you're buying ads. Facebook won't let you hyper target this well, right? These tests were all hyper targeted to the United States. You're never going to stop foreign countries from getting on these. Generally, they're bots. I wouldn't worry about it. And for those of you wondering if you've purchased or you don't do marketing correctly, I'm going to show you behind the scene of David Bartels. So David purchases his targeting on Facebook. What concerns me is that 50% of his traffic is from Bangladesh, right? Only 40% is in the US. And it's not really targeted enough to the areas which he's in, which is the 805 for the sake of discussion, the Simi Valley, right? Because it's bot traffic through Facebook. Facebook is crappy, right? On the boosts and everything else. Facebook is giving you at least half foreign traffic, even if you ask for very hyper specific targeted information. I'm just telling you, look at those numbers. They do not lie. What I care about, let's take Donna Perry's. I did hers, right? I haven't looked at this. Let's see. Yeah, right. I hyper focused United States, in this particular case, Boston, and the demographic of wanting to be a little older based on my clients, right? Don't get caught up in how many Facebook page likes you get. None of that. This is where I started today. Okay. So I went out and I made a video. Hi, my name's Lee Honish. I'm the former head loss mitigator for IndyMac Bank's HELOC division. I am also a career banker and asset manager. I'm here to ask you a simple question. Have you missed a payment recently on your mortgage? Are you someone who took a forbearance agreement? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you need to know what your options are to avoid foreclosure. Now that the eviction moratoriums are over, it's really important that you learn all of your alternatives to foreclosure. Click the link below or call 833-969-4673. Ask for me personally. I'll speak to you, or one of my home advocates will speak with you. You can go to our website, homeadvocates.io.
I'm the former head loss mitigator for IndyMac.
I don't think you guys have sound. I don't think I added that, but for the sake of discussion, it's a literally 1 minute video, right? And it talks about just missing a payment or a forbearance, right? I recorded it using Zoom, which I like to do. Then I uploaded it onto Facebook. I did this so that I can show you all of the options of what you can do with it, right? So on Facebook, on my buyers and renters, soon to be, I'm not going to upload it directly until you go into photos and videos and you upload it. I mean, it's a really simple premise. Then you go into video options, missed a payment. All right. Go with the broadest message possible. Change the thumbnail. I've already made a thumbnail for it, if it'll let me in. Boom. I'm going to save that. And I'll save myself even more trouble because I know I've already done all the work on this. I'm going to copy this, which is our phone number, our website address, right? Yeah, you can't go off page. That is a thing. But you'll upload it and it goes in. Where did you go? I hate it when it does that. We'll do it again. It's not that long a video. Shouldn't take that long. There. Copy it. Keep the message congruent. Video options. Paste it. I'm going to change the thumbnails. I try to do this slow. It's like trying, isn't that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? I'm better if I can move. I'm better when I can do it fast. So from here, I'm going to go and I'm going to put my bumper on it, or my bitmap, or my thumbnail, whatever terminology you want to use. All right. I'm going to copy this because I like it. It's easy to rebrand and it's all done. It'll take a couple of minutes for it to set up. We will come back to it and we're going to hyper target this. And I'm going to show you how to hyper target for free on it. But what I also want to show you today is something that I've been using now for the last month, which is now starting to produce one person, specifically real estate agents, specifically about our message directly to our site. That was my goal. I use a company called Sprizzy. This is the first time and probably the only time you're going to hear me talk about purchasing. This is advertising. I'm paying for advertising. And it increases your video views. It increases your subscribers. It increases your like. If you don't have a YouTube page and you're not creating content, what are you doing, right? Make videos, talk about the real estate market, get a partner, do a podcast with them, but create content. I've always said this. So I'm going to promote a new video on here just to show you why I like this thing so much, because it is so hyper focused. This is not like Facebook. Facebook doesn't really allow hyper focus. Does that make sense? Anymore. They used to, and then everybody complained that they knew too much data, and now it's kind of general. Guess what? 50% of your traffic is going to be from another country. Okay. I want 100% of my traffic to be 100% of the area that I'm looking for. So here's how I do it, and it's with Facebook and it is with YouTube. So let's start with YouTube while the video gets going on the other one. So I'm going to add my channel to this. It's all very user friendly, and I'm going to put in my latest video. Boom, make sure there's no adult theme, drugs or weapons or whatever. They're very specific about that. Campaign name is going to be the name of your video. The campaign name is going to be whatever you name it, right? Language. This is not a thing in Facebook. You don't, I think you want to write your own. That's just me. But in the beginning, I'd let Sprizzy write your video titles for you. But let's just keep with the branding, right? And so in keeping with our branding, there's the first one. Have you missed a payment? That's the headline. Our description's going to be the forbearance message. Have you got? Do you have? Bad English. Forbearance agreement. And I spelled it right this time. Question mark. Missed the T. Oh, it's too long. There. Description number 3. I'm going to make it the company name or your name. That's it. In this case, I can add my name. And I still have enough room to put X Banker. Nope, I don't. Thought I did. All right, cool. All done. They're going to take care of the search results. They're going to take care of where to put it. Now you can target. This targeting is so unreal to me. And it's now producing one person exactly to our message. But let's talk about this particular project. I want male and female. Sorry, I don't want anybody 25 to 34. I want 35 and up, period. I want female. Yeah, they make most of the decisions. And I'm going to hyper focus, not to the United States. I'm going to do it to San Diego County. And you can break this down even further. I can do it to San Diego, California directly, right? I can do it just to my city. I can break it down further. I can do Oceanside. I can't believe it has everything. There it is. I can hyper target to Carlsbad. Since I'm in the market for a house in these markets, not a bad thing. I'm going to get a compound. Make sure you're not promoting a song or a band. Again, my keywords are going to be the same as the title. The first thing, but I will add realtor. In this particular case, missed payment, foreclosure. I can't spell on the fly. It's really hard, but you get my point, right? Everything keyword wise. San Diego, homeowner help. And then I'm going to go select a budget. This is really simple, right? I have 3676 in the kitty, so I'm going to do it. That's going to give me about 800 to 1,000 views. My experience, you shouldn't have to spend more than that to get the one that is interested in talking to you. I always do mine faster. I don't know the differences in the speeds, and they don't seem to charge you for it, so I don't really care. Save and continue. And that's it. It's done. I can go to my, that's it. And I'm telling you, doing these the way I am, and I cut them off, you know, somewhere around the $30, $40 marker every time. I'm getting one person to go to our website based on our webinars for one real estate agent who's in the market for working with distressed properties, right? I guarantee I'm going to get these same results for homeowners that have missed payments because I am targeting directly to them. Now, let's go back real quickly so I can show you what to do with your Facebook people. Now, our video is now uploaded, right? There it is in all its glory. Good. It's there. Now, the goal here is not to use, I'm going to pin it to the top of my page. It's Lee Honish Homes if you guys want to go see it. I am going to pin it to the top of the page so you guys can see it because you guys always want to see it. You don't have to follow that page. You can, but it's going to, I'm changing the name right now because I'm going to go after homeowners and generate leads through it. And they'll be in California specifically. And that way I can do something with them or have Derek talk to them, whatever the case, and turn them into listings or whatever. Now, I'm going to interact with this page as myself because myself, I have joined. I'm going to share. Come on, share. More options to a group. Now, I'm not going to go through these. I've done it so many times on other videos. I have joined San Diego groups. All of these are hyper-targeted people who only care about things in San Diego. So I'm going to share it in just a San Diego group and then post it. Guess what? It's not a sales pitch. Nobody's going to take it down. And it's real simple. Click, share, more options. You guys would be amazed at how many groups there are for your individual city. Keep it simple. San Diego Classified. I'm going to post it and I'm done with it. Simple as that. You can do that with your squeeze pages that I gave all of you, or you can drive it, I guess, at your website if you have one, I guess. But for those of you that I did squeeze pages for, great. I will have this all set up as a funnel with a more generic message, hyper targeted and qualifying you. I haven't really worked out the complete script, but this will now be a part of the system for you to be able to do this pretty simply and step by step. And that I will take questions from this point forward.